Hey, what's up to the best friends and fam on YouTube? So I decided I'd do the video on doing my rear diff cover here. This one's not terrible, but it's definitely seen better days. Just watch out there. I used a 13 6-point and 12-point socket to get at this, just because the up top ones, that's all I had was a 12-point, but it's better if you use a 6-point because the bolts aren't too friendly to the 12 points if they're in an awkward or really tight position. So yeah, all of them are out except for the one up top. Two up top, just to hold it in place while I drain the fluid out here. That waterfall. So I'm gonna go ahead and drain it, clean it all up, and then put my new SPICER rear diff cover on. It's the exact same as the Ford Performance, but it was like $200 cheaper. And I also got like that, can't remember what it's called, a lube something. It's like one of the best gaskets you can throw on this thing. You guys may know the name of it already. I just forgot. I'll show you guys here once I'm out of the truck. But obviously first step is draining all the fluid out and then taking this sucker off and cleaning it up. All right, so the cover is off. Everything from what I can see first glance looks good, which is good. One thing that I hate about the Fords, maybe it's all trucks in general, I don't know, but I've only owned Ford trucks, is there's no drain on here. And to me, that's just absolutely silly. All my other like SUVs, like my 4Runner, etc., had drains on them, and I just think that's really silly that you wouldn't put a drain plug on it. But anyway, the new SPICER cover that I have has actually 2 fills and 1 drain, so it's going to make fluid changes a lot simpler. So I'm going to go ahead, like I said, clean this up, and that gasket is called a lube blocker, and it has like 3 built-in silicone seal surfaces, so they say it doesn't leak at all, which is good. This one was seeping some oil here on the outside, so it'll be a nice little upgrade, and the cover will be an upgrade as well, and then it'll make fluid changes a breeze. All right, so here's the lube blocker that I was chatting about, and yeah, that's what I'll be putting on right there. I'll put this in the description for you guys too. I'm going to open it up, make sure it's not damaged at all, and then go to town after I clean up the diff. All right, so after some hours have passed here, I cleaned up the mating surface just with a plastic razor blade at first, and then I went over it with a metal razor blade. I covered the housing with some shop rags, shop towels, just so no debris got in there, obviously. And then I took some compressed air to each of the holes and sprayed out the debris, and each one had a little bit in there, so it's a good idea to do that. Now I'm going to take this paper towel out, make sure no apparent debris is in there, and then I'm going to mate the cover with my lube blocker gasket, which says do not put any sealant on it, and torque it to factory specs, or specs that came with this, and this came with nothing, so I'm assuming I'm going to go ahead and torque it to 33 foot-pounds, which I'll put the screenshot on the video for you, but I found it online, so that's probably what it is, but let's get to it. All right, my fancy SPICER cover is on. Now, granted, I know this is probably meant for more of an off-road application. Maybe not, but that's what I figure anyway. But that being said, I mean, the Ford Performance one is exact to this, minus like $200. So I'm like, I don't care. I'll get the Performance side. I'll be able to drain it and fill it a lot easier. I'm going for it. So here I am. It is kind of a pain, honestly, to hold it with one hand and get one of the bolts going through, but I did it and everything looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and torque this guy down and show you guys a finished product, and then I'll put some brand new AMSOIL 75 140 in it. All right, so this is why you want to make sure your holes are clear. I torqued them all. Like, what I do is I follow this sequence down here, right? So there's a sequence, Very clear sequence. I follow that, and I go hand tight. Then I go to 20, 25, and then I go to 33. I just finished my 25 round, and I went to 30, and that bolt head up there snapped while this was almost done. I thought I was done for. As luck would have it, lady luck, this is just... Ooh, I'm getting some stuff on the diff there. This is just spinning out with my hands. I thought I was going to be hooped. Guys, I have no idea why this snapped. I threaded it in by hand. I'm threading it out by hand. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. Look at this. Look. This bolt is absolutely fine. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to clean this up, blow the hole out again for the third time, and use a factory bolt in that hole. I might just use factory bolts all over, to tell you the truth, because I'm not trusting these new ones now. So, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make sure these fit first of all. Hopefully they do. I think they do. Yeah, they do, and they're a way nicer bolt because they have this shoulder on them. Jeez. All right, so I cleaned all the OEM bolts off. I know those work. Those feel light and kind of chintzy right out of the bag. And I kind of was skeptical about using them, and now I know why. So, if you're going to do the SPICER upgrade, maybe even the same ones come with the Ford Performance, I'm not sure. I would recommend using your factory bolts like I am. And I was just lucky enough that came out no problems. I didn't cross-thread it, nothing. Like, it was just a very, I don't know. Like I said, I've never had that happen to me before. Super, super weird. But I'm going to go ahead and put these newly cleaned bolts onto the newly cleaned surface of my diff. So wish me luck, everybody. All right, folks, there you have it. It is finally on. Something that was not supposed to take all night, took all night. So, not impressed with those bolts, SPICER, Dana. But I used the factory bolts. Did everything the same. And they torqued just fine. And these just, yeah, they feel real chintzy. And I think they are, like, yeah, anyway. Not impressed. Not impressed. I don't know what these are. 75 140 synthetic. Oh, cool. So it tells you the information. And that's exactly what I got. And I'm going to go fill that sucker up with my AMSOIL. So I'm going to fill it up in this hole here. I don't plan on taking this thing off road. I torqued this one to 20 foot-pounds and the drain to 20 foot-pounds, which is the information I could gather online for it. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and fill it in this hole here and call it a night. So let me go get my AMSOIL. All right, so this is what I'm using here, my AMSOIL, fully synthetic 75 140 for this big bad boy rear end. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. I can't remember what it calls for. I'm just going to fill it till it drains out of this hole. But the other one I think was a little less, if I do recall. Like the line, if you guys can see it, you probably can't really. It looked like it was like just down here a bit. So it's pretty much the same, probably a little more. But I know AMSOIL said it was 2 point something quarts. So I'll put it on the screen again for you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and fill it now. All right, well, this sucker's hungry. I put all 3 quarts in there, and if you guys can see the fluid line, I do see, you can see it. It's a glimmer, it's a glimmer, it's a glimmer. There it is, there it is. It's sitting about here. So if I was level, it would probably be dripping out, but obviously I'm probably just gonna buy another one. Like I actually don't have any qualms about leaving it the way it is, because this SPICER cover will be larger than the OEM one, I do believe. That being said, I'm just going to wipe it up here. Just by a tad. Nothing crazy, but I did clean this sucker out too, right? So like I got in that little crevice down here and what have you. So maybe when you do a drop and fill, it's taking into consideration that as well, whereas I had way less in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and torque this guy to 20 foot-pounds of torque. But that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you learned something, or at least saw how it was done. I do not recommend using the bolts that come with that cover, this cover. I recommend using the factory ones. Factory ones went on super smooth and all that jazz. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give this video a thumbs up. It does help me. If you like what you see on the channel, subscribe. All right, everybody. Peace.